Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to the Integrative Capstone workshop final presentations in the Sustainability Management program here at Columbia University. There are students and guests and an audience that's going to watch tonight's presentations online via live stream. So I'd like to welcome all of you. The Capstone workshop is now in its 8th year. It's a very special course in the Sustainability Management program because it challenges students to synthesize and to apply everything that they've learned in the program to dealing with a project for a client in the real world. You will hear all sorts of presentations about projects that students have done for governments and not-for-profit organizations, including Columbia University itself. These presentations represent the culmination of a semester's worth of work for 5 teams of about 10 students who have organized like a professional consulting team with a team lead and a deputy lead, and have worked very closely under the supervision of a faculty advisor and the direction of their clients. And you will see a great variety of challenges, a great variety of attempts to meet those challenges, and recommendations to these clients in each of these presentations tonight. What I want you to pay attention to is not only the great variety, though, but the students' ability to deal with very different problems in the real world and make sense of them, right? These students have been trained in management, economics, quantitative analysis, sustainability itself, some public policy, and general and financial management, and they are applying all of these skills and tools and knowledge to making sense of sustainability problems. So the way we will run tonight's program is as follows. Each presenter will make a 10-minute presentation, and after each presentation, we will take a few minutes of questions. Because we are broadcasting over the internet tonight, you must wait for the microphone before asking a question so that you can be heard online. Once the Q&A is over, we will take a 5-minute break. I will ask the people watching us on live stream to hang on for those 5 minutes, while the rest of us in this room enjoy the refreshments in the back. And then I will call you back to your seats, and we will hear from the next presentation, and we will do that 5 times. So let's get started by hearing about a project about sustainability right here on campus. Please welcome Sara to the podium, who's going to give us the presentation. Sara.
Thank you so much, George. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Capstone final briefing presentation. My name is Sara Janjua, and I will be presenting our team's work on advancing sustainability at Columbia University's Faculty House. This presentation will start with an overview of sustainability at Columbia more broadly, followed by a brief introduction to our clients and our specific project objectives. I will then transition into our methodology and highlight a few key results from our analyses. I will conclude with recommendations and some key takeaways from over the past 3 months. As one of the largest private employers in New York City, as well as a significant energy consumer and waste generator, Columbia University understands the role it needs to play within its community in the face of climate change. As part of that effort, Columbia has adopted principles aimed at improving sustainability within the university. In 2017, Columbia University launched its first campus-wide sustainability plan, which is called Sustainable Columbia. This plan establishes clear principles to guide the university's long-term sustainability vision. Importantly, it also sets measurable goals for reducing greenhouse gas emissions associated with university operations. Here you can see the 3 goals of Sustainable Columbia. Our project aligns most closely with the goal to plan and measure strategic sustainability initiatives. Our clients for this project included the Office of Environmental Stewardship, University Events Management, and Faculty House. I'd briefly like to explain why these 3 different entities were all involved in the same project. The Office of Environmental Stewardship spearheads campus-wide sustainability initiatives, such as putting together the Sustainable Columbia Plan. University Events Management manages most events on campus and wanted us to focus our efforts on Faculty House, a premier event space. Working with these various stakeholders helped to ensure that the project was in line with both the goals of Sustainable Columbia as well as the university's broader approach to event management. Through improving the sustainability at Faculty House, which is also a public-facing venue, Columbia University can showcase its commitment to sustainability. Before I move forward, I'd like to take a moment to mention that sustainability is not an unfamiliar term for Faculty House. As you can see here, Faculty House has a long history of sustainability leadership, from being the first LEED Gold certified building on Morningside campus in 2009 to most recently introducing linenless dining for their events. Our team was tasked with helping to develop tools that Columbia can utilize to invest more strategically in sustainable upgrades for Faculty House. We were asked to assess the energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions from the current lighting setup and propose cost-effective lighting upgrade recommendations. We were also asked to assess the environmental impacts of food and linen procurement. Our team began with data collection and research. A tremendous amount of effort went into obtaining data such as financial records for energy cost, as well as linen and food procurement invoices. We also looked at the event schedule for Faculty House and did a lighting audit of the building in order to assess the current fixtures. Research included expert interviews to help guide our calculations around greenhouse gas emissions. The team also created and conducted a building occupancy survey to better understand how Faculty House currently meets the needs of its employees. We also did extensive research on procurement practices. Analyses the team conducted included analyzing the current energy consumption of Faculty House and potential impacts that a lighting retrofit would have on that energy consumption. We also analyzed the greenhouse gas emissions related to the current energy consumption, as well as related to the current food and linen procurement practices. Upon completion of these steps and validation of our qualitative and quantitative efforts by experts, our team was able to generate a series of recommendations for our final report. During this process, we were also able to create different tools, which the clients, both Faculty House and Columbia University as a whole, can utilize going forward to better track their environmental impacts regarding these various operations. Diving right into our results for energy efficiency, we used calendar year data from Con Edison for 2018, and our analysis showed that the total building energy consumption for Faculty House was just over 1,000 megawatt hours of electricity. Our analysis showed that Faculty House could cut its consumption of lighting use significantly by upgrading to LEDs. This cut in lighting energy consumption would represent a roughly 21% decrease in total building energy consumption. Our analysis indicates that the proposed LED retrofit could reduce total energy consumption by 212 megawatt hours and decrease costs by approximately $15,000 per year. Finally, the LED retrofit could reduce Faculty House's annual indirect emissions from the generation of purchased energy by approximately 61 tons of CO2 equivalent. In terms of recommendations for energy efficiency, our LED upgrade analysis justifies a lighting retrofit. However, lighting only accounts for roughly 28% of the energy use at Faculty House, so we recommend a full energy audit and retro-commissioning to tune up the building system to unlock energy and cost savings opportunities. In a broader context, we recommend the adoption of a smart energy management platform, leveraging technology to turn real-time energy use data across campus into efficiency actions. This would allow Columbia University to optimize energy use across campus, helping to achieve the carbon goals set forth in Sustainable Columbia. The second part of our project was to look at sustainable operations, specifically food and linen, and here we can see some of our food results. Overall, our team analyzed 10 menus for the client, which represents over 50% in their sales. However, for the purpose of this presentation, we are presenting a comparison of greenhouse gas emissions for the American Buffet, which is the most popular menu by sales, to a newly launched sustainable living menu. Our analysis shows an estimated reduction of 63% of CO2 equivalent emissions per person between the American Buffet menu and the new sustainable living menu. As you can see in this graph, most of the emissions of the baseline menu on the left come from animal-based ingredients. Based on these results, the most important recommendation is to reduce animal-based ingredients in the food served across all menus. We also suggest Faculty House try to promote and serve the sustainable living menu more, as it emits roughly 63% less emissions than the most popular menu. Finally, we suggest the clients utilize the food loss inventory template that our team has created in order for Faculty House to be able to audit their food waste moving forward. Moving into linens, Faculty House currently has one supplier of linens for staff uniforms and events. Our team developed a tool that can be utilized by the clients to analyze environmental impacts of linen procurement. These graphs here highlight environmental impacts from Faculty House's linen procurement with their current linen vendor. As we can see, by promoting linenless dining and thus ordering less linens from 2017 to 2018, Faculty House was able to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions related to linen procurement by 16.5%. In our research, we came across a local linen vendor that is Textile Rental Services Association, or TRSA, Clean Green Certified, which ensures a minimum standard of sustainability in operations. The team compared the current vendor with the TRSA certified vendor, and as we can see, with renewable energy and water best management practices in place, procuring from a TRSA certified linen vendor would dramatically reduce linen-based greenhouse gas emissions. With these results in mind, our primary recommendation is to set a standard for linen procurement using the TRSA certification as a screening. We also recommend the clients utilize the greenhouse gas inventory template that the team created in order to compare greenhouse gas emissions from different vendors. This implies working with vendors that are transparent around their data regarding water and energy use. Finally, we suggest Faculty House continue to encourage linenless dining. In addition to our recommendations, we have a few key takeaways that we would like to share with the community tonight. Overall, this project has revealed the need for a centralized Columbia. We found that there is often a disconnect between different departments and stakeholders within the university. This showcases an opportunity to truly advance sustainability at a larger scale through clearer communication, better data collection and sharing mechanisms, and more collaborative engagement overall. We feel that these takeaways will be useful to Columbia as it begins outlining the goals and strategies for its next sustainability plan, which will launch in April of 2021. Thank you so much first and foremost to our team, along with our faculty advisor, our clients, and the Columbia University at large for helping us to bring this project to fruition. We're happy to take any questions or comments at this time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take questions for Sara, but again, please wait for the mic.
Hi, Sara. You mentioned that changing to a local certified linen vendor would change GHG emissions. Do you have any other local certified vendors, and would the difference change with another vendor, or would it be the same?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So there are indeed other local TRSA certified linen vendors. However, the TRSA Clean Green certification is earned based on earning points in different areas such as energy use and water use. So the different combinations of the points will end up generating different greenhouse gas emissions associated with those different vendors. So we would suggest that the clients utilize the tool that we've created for calculating the different green environmental impacts of different linen vendors to be able to find the best choice in a new TRSA certified linen vendor. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Beautifully presented. Loved the PowerPoints.
Thank you. Thank
Amazing.
you. Shout out to my deputy project manager, Alice. I could not have done that.
So I see the focus was on greenhouse gas emissions, but you also mentioned water. So
Yes.
for example, with the sustainable menu, did you also take into
Yes.
consideration things like the sustainability of the fishing practices for the fish?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great question as well. Based on the scope of the project and the time frame that we had, we ended up analyzing the different menus using emission factors by food categories. So while we didn't necessarily look at specific practices from the different vendors where Faculty House sources its food, topics such as that are broadly incorporated into the emission factors that we used in the food analysis. Thank you.
Okay, one last question. Paul?
Great presentation. How does cost fit into the different things you discussed? The sustainable vendor, the sustainable living menu, is it going to cost Faculty House more to do these things?
Absolutely, that's a great question. So in terms of the lighting retrofit cost savings that we discussed, that cost savings is solely based on the reduction in energy consumption. They would be saving $15,000 roughly per year on their utility bill. In terms of food, meats tend to cost more than vegetables and fruits. The sustainable living menu is mostly vegetable-based with some fish. So costs hopefully would be comparable, if not cheaper, to be serving that sustainable living menu more. And then in terms of linen procurement, that is an excellent question. We were unable to obtain cost data from a few of the different vendors, so we cannot speak to the cost differences from switching to a different vendor. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.